Dear student of class 12, now today I'm going to start the new section, that is section C, application of calculus in commerce and economics, and today's chapter is break-even point. Now from this section you'll get 15 marks question, and from this chapter that you'll get 6 or 8 marks questions in your IS examination. Now to do this chapter, dear student, you have to be familiar with the cost function, variable cost and the fixed cost. The cost function is represented by Cx, variable cost is Vx, and the fixed cost is F. Now what is cost, what is variable cost, and what is fixed cost, that you have to understand. Now sir, the cost function is Cx, variable cost is Vx, and the fixed cost is F. The total cost is given by Cx is equals to variable cost plus fixed cost. To calculate cost function, this one is the formula. Cost function is equals to variable cost plus fixed cost. Now what is cost? Means total expenses or the total expenditure of the commodity. And in this case, what is X? X is the number of unit of commodities. And the total costing of the product is given by the variable cost plus fixed cost. Now what is variable cost? Now say, I'll consider the variable means which is not even. Now let us consider the cost of this marker. Let us suppose the cost of this marker is at wholesale rate. The cost of this marker is rupees 20. If you buy 10 markers, that means the cost is 20. If you buy 10 means X is equals to 10. The number of unit of commodity is 10. Then what will be the cost of 10 marker? The cost of one marker is 20. Then the variable cost is given by 20 into 10. That is 200 rupees. The cost is 200 rupees. Let us suppose the same marker, 20 rupees, cost of one marker is 20 rupees. And if you buy 20 markers, then the variable cost, the cost of one marker is 20, and if you are buying 20 markers, then 2 to the 4, it is rupees 400. Similarly, if you buy 30 marker, then the variable cost will be 20 into 30, 3 to the 6, rupees 600 is the total variable cost. That means if you increase the number of commodities, definitely the cost will increase. That means the cost is not even, it is vary from number of product. If it is 10, 200, if it is 20, 400, if it is 30 markers, then it is the cost is 60, 600. So the variation of the cost, 200, if the number increases, definitely the variable cost will increase. If the number of commodity decreases, the variable cost will also decrease. Now this one is the variable cost. Now what is fixed cost? Now if you are buying something, like let us take the example of marker only. That means this is the cost of marker, but extra expenses is also there. Transportation cost, labor cost, that is a fixed cost. Let us suppose the fixed cost is the extra expenses. If you buy something else, the extra expenses will be there, and that is a fixed cost. Let us suppose the fixed cost is rupees 80. I'll consider this one. Then what will be the total cost? Variable cost is 600 and the fixed cost is 80, means the total cost is 600 plus extra expenses also that you have to add. The total cost will be 680 rupees. Hope you understand the concept of variable cost. Variable means if you increase the number of the product, definitely the cost will increase. If you decrease the number of the product, the cost will decrease. It's a concept of variable cost and fixed cost, and the total cost is given by Cx, that is a cost function. And this one is the formula to calculate the cost function. Cost function is equals to variable cost plus fixed cost. Now the next topic is The revenue function. Revenue function is represented by Rx, and demand function. Demand function, sometimes in your question paper you will get a demand function is P or Px. Next is the profit function. Profit function is represented by Px. Don't get confused with the demand and the profit. Demand is P or Px and the profit is Px. Now, sir, what is revenue? Revenue means after buying something, definitely the shopkeeper will sell the product. The revenue means the total selling price. Total selling price of the product. Total selling price. Demand means demand is the selling price of the one product. You just keep in your mind. Revenue means the total selling price. If you sell entire product and you'll earn money, that is a revenue. The demand function is P, means the selling price of the one product is demand. The selling price of one. Let us suppose the selling price of the one pen, one marker, the cost was 20. If you sell this marker at rupees 30, that is demand is 30, that is definitely you want some profit over here. The cost of the marker was 20, and if we are selling the same marker, one marker at rupees 30, that is a demand. Okay, and the profit function is represented by Px. Now the revenue, calculation of revenue, Rx, it is P into X, total selling price. P means the selling price of the one product. Revenue means the selling price of the entire product. If you are selling 200 markers, that is a revenue. If you sell one marker at rupees 30, that is a demand. Revenue is given by demand into X. X is the number of unit of commodities. Now let us suppose over here I'll use formula. Rx is equals to the cost of the selling price of the one marker is rupees 30, and if you are selling 10 marker, then what will be your revenue? 300. The selling price of the one marker is 30, and if you are selling 15 marker, then rupees 450 is the revenue. Don't get confused with the revenue and the demand. Revenue means total amount, total selling price is revenue. Demand means the selling price of the one product is demand. The demand is given by this. Actually, Rx is selling price. Now this one is the formula to calculate the revenue, total selling price. Next is the profit function. Now profit, you know about the profit, selling price minus cost price. Same way, the profit you can calculate total revenue minus your cost. Total revenue, selling price minus cost price give you the profit. Selling price minus cost price give you the profit function. These two are the formula to calculate the revenue. This one is the formula to calculate the profit function. Now dear student, the next topic is break-even point. This part is very important for this chapter. Break-even point means no profit, no loss. No profit, no loss. If in what circumstances there will be a no profit and no loss? If selling price is equals to the cost price. Selling price is equals to cost price means no profit, no loss. That means selling price is equals to cost price means no profit, no loss. In this case, the profit is 0. Now say the profit function formula is Rx minus Cx. Then Px is equals to Rx is equals to Cx. Then Cx minus Cx. Cancel. Profit is 0. If there is a 0 profit, no loss. Profit is 0 means, and loss is also 0. No profit, no loss means it's a break-even point, and this section is very important. The break-even point is important for your school examination as well as for ISC. Now I'll start the exercise. Exercise 1.1, question number 2. Now to try to understand this question, a textbook publisher a textbook publisher finds that the production cost of each book is rupees 30 and the fixed cost is rupees 80,000. If each book be sold for rupees 50, determine number one the cost function. What are the things that you have to calculate? First one is cost function. Number two is revenue function. Number three is break even point. Even point. Now here the cost of production of the one book. A textbook publisher finds that the production cost of each book is rupees 30. The production cost is rupees 30 means it's a variable cost. Variable cost is rupees 30 into X. X is the number of unit of quantity. X is the number of unit of books. Now the cost of one book. The cost of producing one book is 30. Then the cost of producing X number of book is 30 into X. Now next is, and the fixed cost is rupees 18,000. Fixed cost is rupees 18,000. If each book can be sold for rupees 50, the demand of the selling price of each book is rupees 50. The demand is 50. What are the things that you have to calculate? The cost function, revenue function, and the break-even point. Now, the cost of producing one book is rupees 30. That means the cost of manufacturing one book is rupees 30. If the company manufactures X number of books, then it is 30 into X, that is a variable cost. Fixed cost, extra expenses is 80,000. And the selling price of this book is 50. The cost is 30 and the selling is 50. Now what are the things that you have to calculate? The cost function. The cost function is given by variable cost plus fixed cost. And the variable cost is 30 into X plus fixed cost is 18,000. This is cost function. This one is the cost function. First answer. Next is revenue. Revenue is given by demand into X. The odd demand means selling price is 50 into X. This is revenue. Second answer. The third is the break-even point. The break-even point is given by revenue is equals to the cost, no profit, no loss formula, and the revenue is 50x is equals to the cost is 30x plus 18,000. Then the like terms are right on one side. 50x minus 30x is equals to 18,000. 50 minus 30 is 20x is equals to 18,000. If they sold 900 units of books, there will be no profit and no loss. This one is the break-even point. Now question number 5. In question number 5 it is given the fixed cost of a product is rupees 30,000 and variable cost per unit is 800. Variable cost per unit is 800 means always that you have to multiply it by X, and the variable cost, the cost of one product is 800, then the cost of X number of product will be 800 into X, and the Px is equals to 4500 minus 100x. In this case, it is clearly mentioned in your book. The Px is, it is not a profit, it is demand function is Px. The demand function is 4500 minus 100x. Find the break-even point. Find the break-even point. To calculate the break-even point, first of all, we must have the cost function and the revenue function. Since the cost function is given by the variable cost plus fixed cost. The variable is 800 into x plus the fixed cost is 30,000. This is cost function. Next, to calculate the break-even point, we need the revenue. Revenue, the formula of revenue is P into X, but OB8 is already given PX revenue, PX into X. Now then, it's a revenue, P into X or PX into X also we can write. This is 4500 minus 100x into x. This one will be 4500 into x minus 100 x square. This is revenue. Now to calculate the break-even point, break-even point is given by Rx is equals to Cx. Rx is equals to Cx. Now the Rx's revenue is 4500. 4500x minus 100 x square is equals to, the cost function is 800x plus 30,000. Now from both the side, I'll take, first of all, I'll take 100 common. If I take 100 common, now from this also I'll take 100 common. If I take 100 common, then what remains inside? 8x plus 300. 100 get cancelled. This was unduly. Now then, this is 45x minus x square is equals to 8x plus 300. Now then, I'll bring these two quantities from right hand side to the left hand side. It will be x square minus 45x plus 8x plus 300 equals to 0. 45 minus 8 minus 45 plus 8 is 37x plus 300 equals to 0. Now then, we have to factorize this quantity, and x square minus 37x plus 300 factorization, middle term. Now to factorize this quantity, it would be x square minus 25x minus 12x. 12 into 25 is 300, and minus 25 minus 12 is 37, plus 300 is equals to 0. Now then, from these two expression, I'll take x common. X minus 25 minus 12, it will be x minus 25 equals to 0. Then x minus 25 into x minus 12 is equals to 0. Then either x is equals to 12 or x is equals to, these two are the break-even points. Now dear student, I'll do this much of questions today. Now in next video I'll also continue with the break-even point. Thank you.